Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of From the Newswire from the redwires.au. And this is Miko Santos. Did you know that Australians already spend a lot of, I think Australians eat more than 356 tons of seafood each year. So that's a lot. And for today's episode, we're talking to Dr. Chris Gillies. He is a marine biologist and a founder of OneFishTwoFish. Dr. Chris, thank you for your time. How are you today?
Well, thank you, Miko. Thanks for having me.
First question: what is One Fish, Two Fish?
Yeah, so we created Seafood Positive and the One Fish Two Fish program to help seafood restaurants, chefs, and everyday seafood lovers balance their seafood consumption. And by that, we return two fish to the ocean for every fish sold, caught, or consumed. And so it's a great way to connect your seafood consumption with helping to recover critical marine ecosystems that help support fish, and also through direct restocking programs as well.
So, how healthy is the ocean today? So, why are you doing this? Is this a new program? Is this the first time you're doing it?
Yeah, that's right. It's actually a world first program. So no one has ever tried to create a sustainable seafood program that actively puts fish back into the ocean. So we often think about sustainable seafood as the fish that we choose, maybe at the supermarket, or becoming more educated and trying to prevent, I guess, more destructive practices of fishing. So One Fish, Two Fish is really a world first sustainable seafood program that helps seafood consumers give back to the ocean. And the reason why it's important is, as you mentioned, we have 356,000 tonnes of seafood in Australia consumed, and that equates to about 150 Olympic sized swimming pools. Now, over the last 10 years, our fish stocks have declined by about a third. And globally, we know about half the fish stocks have been overfished and 1/10 have collapsed. And if we want to keep eating seafood and keep having seafood sustain over a third of the world's population, then we need to give a little bit back. And that's exactly what this program does. And it helps everyone give back to the ocean by continuing to eat healthy seafood.
Thank you for that. So, what is the seafood positive? Is that the same with this program that you're doing?
Yeah, so we're a social impact business, which means we're profit for purpose, and that's the name of the business, Seafood Positive. And what we want people to become by signing up to our subscriptions, our annual subscriptions, which for less than a cup of coffee a week, you'll become Seafood Positive, which means we put two fish back in the ocean for every fish sold, caught, or consumed. So for an individual, that's $49 a year, and we'll put 30 fish back into the ocean. And you'll also get great access to our seafood recipes, stories from scientists, and connections to other like-minded ocean businesses that are also trying to help improve the health of our oceans.
Recently, I just watched a documentary from I think it's from New Zealand. They have a documentary called Aura King documentary. It's a king salmon. It's a sustainable. So what they do is that they get the egg of the salmon and put it on a production, and then sustainable. They do that. Can we do that in Australia as well?
Yeah, so we can have what we call assisted breeding programs where we breed fish in hatcheries. And then those fish, under quarantine conditions and carefully supervised by scientists, can then be placed back into the ocean. In fact, Australia does that for many freshwater fish species now. In places like Victoria, they stock somewhere between 7 and 10 million fish a year. And New South Wales also stocks a lot of fish. So that method is certainly a mature method, and we can begin to roll that out into our oceans and not only target table fish, but also target a number of other fish that are in decline. And to do that, we need hatcheries and a lot more fish hatcheries to be able to support these programs, which are called conservation breeding programs.
So how can Australians get involved in this one fish, two fish program?
Yeah. So the best way to get involved is to jump on our website, seafoodpositive.org, and purchase a subscription. That will mean that you are, from that point on, for the rest of the year, you're seafood positive. You've helped replace the fish that you have consumed throughout the year. The second thing you can do is join our social media pages on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And there you'll get the best updates and connections, as I mentioned, to other sustainable seafood businesses, scientists, top chefs, and restaurants, and join our community of people who are wanting to give back to the ocean and do their little bit to help keep our oceans nice and healthy.
Dr. Gillies, what are the area with one fish, two fish help restore?
Yeah, so we have a number of projects that we support. So the way that the program works is that we pass on everyone's investment to a number of different conservation organisations. We're working with Central Queensland University on the Great Barrier Reef to restore seagrass meadows, Operation Crayweed in the Sydney Institute of Marine Science in Sydney to restore kelp forests that have disappeared. We're working with the Corner Inlet commercial fishers to replace flathead and flounder in their commercial fishery down in Corner Inlet, Victoria. And in Western Australia, we're supporting OzFish Unlimited rebuild seagrass meadows as well. So you know that with these organisations, they have the skills and the expertise to restore these coastal ecosystems. But what they really need is the resources, the investment to do that. And you can do that by jumping on our website, seafoodpositive.org, and helping them out.
Thank you so much. My last question is that is this is a government supported, and how is the government is doing their behalf to make the ocean healthy? Because if that's overfishing, then with no more fish to eat.
Yeah, so this isn't a government-supported program. The goal of this program is to really connect seafood consumers with these activities. So we want to find another way to support groups that are doing positive activities on the ground. Role of governments is typically around how they regulate the fisheries, so how they work with the industry on the types of fishing gear, for instance, that they can use, how much fish they can extract from the ocean, and when they can extract those fish from the ocean. So government typically plays a very strong role there. Occasionally, they also invest in similar sorts of habitat restoration projects, but nowhere near to the level that's required to reverse what has been 200 years of destruction in our coastal habitats and ecosystems. So Seafood Positive allows everyone to be able to give back and join that movement. And so by working with government and hand in hand with these conservation groups, the seafood industry, ourselves, and government, we'll have a much more holistic approach to sustainable seafood.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Chris. Well, any parting word to our audience and listener about your program?
Just to thank you for having me on your show. And as I said, the best way to get involved is to jump on our website, seafoodpositive.org, and join our social pages. And that way, by becoming seafood positive, you can feel good about your seafood consumption for the next year. So thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris Gillies, the marine biologist and the founder of One Fish, Two Fish uh, organization. And that's it for the today episode of From the Newswire from redwires.au. And this is Miko Santos, and see you next week. Thank you.